And speaking of that gun suppression unit that you talked about, how many illegal guns have you confiscated, and how is this reducing crime in the county? 60 seconds.
We certainly have confiscated numerous guns. Not only have we confiscated numerous guns out in the city with those checkpoints, we've also confiscated numerous weapons out of our detention center, which is very important because a lot of the crimes that are happening in the city that we're placing these folks in harm's way when we put them in the detention center, we make sure that we are committed to taking guns not only out of our communities, but out of our jail system. It has wreaked havoc on our, not only on the community at large, it has wreaked havoc specifically in the city of Jackson. So we have certainly, and we're going to be more robust and more aggressive with these checkpoints, and that is what we're doing right now. And we have the commitment of other agencies outside of Jackson to make sure not only we're creating a safe environment inside of Hinds County, but on the borders of Hinds County. I think those relationships and partnerships with our tri-county area, I think is going to certainly produce good results in reducing crime in the metropolitan area, specifically in Jackson. But we certainly don't want to forget about Hinds County as a whole. So we're committed to making sure we make the entire county safe.
All right, and Mr. Jones, what specific plans do you propose to control crime in Hinds County?
Was that the same question that he had just a moment ago?
If you wanted to tackle the question on the gun suppression, you can do that.
Yes, sir, I'd like to address that. Well, the first thing I would like to say is I'm not familiar with any guns being confiscated in our detention facilities. I'm not familiar with any crime as it relates to guns in the detention facilities. So I would challenge my opponent to be able to produce the numbers as it relates to the guns that he spoke of that they have taken out of the detention centers. If there was someone charged with being in possession of an illegal weapon or contraband in the detention facilities as well. I'm not aware of that. I haven't heard of a gun being taken. If a gun has made it into a detention facility where individuals are locked up for not only violent crime, but property crimes as well, that is very dangerous. That is something that the public should be aware of. Not only that, an individual being in possession of a gun in a detention facility should be public information, and the public should be aware if there were charges brought, if the district attorney's office had been notified of this. That is a very serious crime, having a gun in a detention facility, because obviously there was a breakdown of some type of communication or a breakdown of policy and procedure.
Thank you. Mr. Crystal, would you like to respond?
Well,
You have 30 seconds to respond.
If I misspoke and said guns, I'm talking about weapons. We have shanks. We have different devices that are homemade inside the prison that can cause just as much damage sometimes as a gun. You asked about specific guns, so I will correct myself and say, obviously, we're not taking any guns out of jail. That was a misspeak. So at the end of the day, I'm talking about weapons, period. Anything that can harm life, we want to be dedicated to make sure we remove it from our communities so it doesn't cause maiming, as it doesn't cause death. So again, I appreciate my opponent correcting me on guns. Obviously, we don't have those in jails, but we do have some very dangerous weapons. I'm sure he would agree with that. One of the things we've been dedicated to doing under my watch is making sure we focus on getting dangerous weapons out of our community, both outside the jail and inside the jail. That is what I wanted to make clear.
Mr. Jones, I'll give you 30 seconds to respond back.
Yes, I agree with him as it relates to the shanks and the weapons being taken out of the detention facilities. But again, it is useless if you're not charging the individuals that are in possession of these weapons. It's my understanding that there was a recent shakedown done at the detention facility. Several shanks and homemade weapons were recovered. Was there anybody charged with it? If not, why? There should have been charges. That is a criminal charge. That is a felony charge that should be forwarded to the district attorney's office as well. Thank you.